So let's discuss what is the real steps or direction in which we're moving in terms of designing this concept of the date. By the way, structures such as date usually are designed to represent some well understood concept, right? Date is obviously calendar date is a really well understood concept, which comes with lots of like computations. For instance, you can compare dates, you can compute the difference between the dates. You can have functions such as, for instance, would require this date to set equal to I don't know, like the third week in October, okay, and of the same year. And there are lots of computations also associated with traditional holidays, and holiday calendars exist and things like that. So date is an extremely rich concept in terms of computation, right? So we're just taking very simple steps towards potentially thinking about it as a concept. And the first thing that we said that we can have constructor functions defined directly inside the structure. So in order to answer this new problem that we can no longer access the month component or year or day component of our date because we intentionally made those data private, thinking that this is something that can protect the data and can make the data safer to use and so forth, we run into this problem. But let me quickly reiterate what we have so far, right? So what we do have so far is this. We have main, okay, which says date today, and passes some values like January 1st, 2015. Okay, so this is what we have in our code. Of course, main has access to its local variables right here, right? And today is about to become a local variable, right? So today basically will be located somewhere here, right? And we know it has those three components, like month, day, and year, three components, all three integers, and they all will be allocated like this inside our, as one piece, one structure, inside the stack frame that belongs to the main function. So what happens is that this area of memory is officially allocated for our structure with these three fields, month, day, and year, inside. But since we have defined this constructor, which was originally prototyped or declared inside the structure, and this is the definition for it, the constructor is invoked, right? So function name date, date is the name of the constructor. It's a function, and it gets invoked. The three parameters like 1, and 2015 are going to be pushed on the stack as happens with every function call. So somewhere here we will find 1, and 2015. So before constructor function is invoked, these three integers, right? So 1, and 2015 are integers. They're going to be placed on the stack. Then the function, the constructor function is invoked, and of course it allocates its own stack frame right here, just like main does. And magically, its month, day, and year variables are going to be right here, right? So this is going to be a month, and this is going to be year, and this, this is going to be a day, right? And this is going to be the year. And then what happens that this constructor says, oh, I want to take month and store it in DD, and YY. So what constructor does, it essentially assigns this value here, assigns this value over here, this value gets assigned right here, and the year, of course, gets assigned in the appropriate field of our structure. Because what happens is that when a member function such as this date construction of our structure is invoked, when it recognizes the names of the fields inside our structure, it basically refers back to the object on which it was invoked, right? So in our main, recall we said that when we create today on this line, first step that happens is that the memory is officially allocated for the structure, right? So the memory becomes available, and then the constructor is invoked. But constructor, besides having access to those parameters, month, day, and year, which are just local variables, besides that, constructor has access to the original function. Implicitly, what it does, constructor does, it says, what's month? Oh, month is this variable right here, right? So this is the month. This is my variable month right here. That's local variable. But when we say it realizes that is actually an integer inside the structure itself. Was the name of the integer. And so it basically matches it with this. And so the assignment actually does happen. We actually assign this value from month to Then, of course, it proceeds forward and it finds this, day assignment and year assignment, and that's what constructor does. And when constructor is done, it's about to return. What constructor does is essentially, of course, just as any other function, all of this disappears, right? So this is all destroyed, the stack frame is gone, none of it exists, and we return back to the main function, right? So here we can erase all of this, and we're back, and now the object is constructed, and all three fields are populated with whatever as a result, right? So all three fields are populated with 1 and 2015, or whatever we pass as the parameter, and the next line in our main function says, let's construct a birthday, and that gets 2 and 2010, so the whole thing again happens. So this time it's 2 2010, right? So 2 2010 temporary values are pushed on the stack, copied to the stack, then constructor is invoked, it constructs its own frame, and it will, of course, assign, and by the way, before we do that, we allocate another structure, right? So the second structure that we have is called birthday, right? So this is birthday, and this time, excuse me, this time the birthday, of course, constructor will have access to another structure, and as a result we'll be assigning it here, here, and here, right? And so this will be populated by 2 2010 as a result of that line, and then the second time constructor returns. Everything that it was dealing with disappears. And now we have the two structures populated with values, memory is allocated, and the actual data fields are initialized.